I was aging at a pace of 0.96 years per 1 year, which is okay.
Yeah.
It's slower than 1 year per 1 year. And in 6 months, I reduced my biologic age by 11 years. I reduced pace of aging down to 0.72.
Love Gangster with Adrien Boysel.
Hey guys, welcome back to Love Gangster. I'm your host, Adrien Boysel, and today I have a very special interview with a very, very special guest, Dr. Rajka. She's here to talk to us about functional medicine and her work in longevity. So that all being said, thank you so much for being here.
I am super excited to talk about how not to spend your wealth on your health.
Isn't that the greatest line ever? I think that's so important. You know, we were talking about how functional medicine is so important and most people are not even aware that exists in treating the actual root causes and things like that. So give us a little bit of background, what you do, kind of what got you started and where you're from.
As a little girl, I had 3 dreams. I had a dream to be a doctor. I had a dream to have my own children. And I had a dream to cure just about everyone. And sadly, because of my own health challenges, these dreams were almost not actualized. In my 20s, 30s, and 40s, I collected diagnosis after diagnosis. I grew more and more fatigued. And my labs were always normal. And I was told it's a normal part of aging. And thankfully, since I could draw my own labs, I never saw a doctor because they would have told me I was depressed. But I wasn't depressed. And in my mid-40s, I grew so tired, but this time the symptoms were worse and my muscles were fatigued and achy. And it was the first time in all those decades, almost 2.5 decades, that my labs weren't normal. My liver was failing. The doctors didn't know why. And we were on this celebratory trip. I had achieved the dream of becoming a doctor. I had those 2 children after much, much trial and tribulation.
Yeah.
And I just found the field of functional medicine. And I was super excited because I just knew this was going to help me cure just about everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And we took a celebratory trip. We'd spent 8 years living abroad.
Wow.
And it was a very fruitful journey. And so we're just laying at the side of the pool and the kids were screaming, "Watch me, mommy, watch me, mommy." And I should have been so very happy.
Yeah.
But I wasn't happy. I was actually afraid. I was afraid that I would leave those children without a mommy. And in my head, all I could visualize was them having to graduate high school without their mommy, having to graduate college, get their first job, get married without having a mommy present. And it was kind of in that moment I said, I am not going to let these kids grow up without their mommy. I sought the help of a functional medicine colleague. I reversed that failing liver. I never got the diagnosis of autoimmune hepatitis, which carries a death rate of 50% in 3 to 5 years if you don't take steroids. Happily, it's been 10 years. I have never taken steroids, and I've gone to help reverse the health and lives of thousands of patients. And with my new book, Energized, Feel Fantastic Forever, which hit bestseller status, I am going to help transform the lives of millions.
That's incredible. Traditional doctor.
Correct.
And then you moved into functional medicine yourself. So after you got your transformation, is that when that happened?
Correct. It was kind of almost, it was right at the beginning of that training that I transitioned into functional medicine.
So tell me about kind of that transition and how you went from working in functional medicine or traditional medicine now to functional medicine, and kind of your first wins as a doctor in that space.
Yeah. So I was fortunate to have a mentor who mentored me every case every day for 3 months. And that's crucial. And for anyone interested in the field, find a good mentor. I mentor practitioners. There's not enough of us out there, and it'll skyrocket your ability to affect care. And within 3 months, I was getting my own results. And so much so that I started training others. So I had nurse practitioners, students that would come through, and the one said at the end of the first visit, "Well, how do you know what to do with these patients?" I said, "You just listen and you look for patterns." And I would start patients on a set regimen, diet, lifestyle supplements, determine what labs, and they would always come in 50% better by the next visit, which is 4 to 6 weeks later. And she says, and so when they come in at visit 2, she's like, "That's like magic."
Yeah.
And like, well, anyone can do it. You just have to be trained, right?
That's
and
true.
So that was really the transition. And I'd say that probably about another 3 months in, I found that I could really impact 80% of the patients that came my way, but 20% I was missing. And that's what led me to have that thirst to learn nutrigenetics, which is bypassing defective genes with vitamins and minerals, nutrients.
Wow.
And then went down the rabbit hole of learning how to reverse dementia or cognitive decline. So
Whoa,
there's
really?
several different protocols. Yeah, and the drugs offer no hope. They don't work.
Yeah, of course.
And then my most recent endeavor, the last 3 years, I've been heavily training in longevity and specifically how to apply peptides. And they're really packing a punch and have allowed me to shorten that time from unwell to well. And not only that, but reverse your own age. May I share my own results?
Please.
So last January, I ran a longevity test that measures your blood age, and it also measures how fast you're aging. My blood age was, I was 4 years older. Not kind of shocking, but not shocking because it really, you're impacted by chronic stress. So what did I just do? I had, 3 decades of sleep deprivation with kids, residency training, and delivering babies in my first private practice.
Wow.
Yeah, that was really just the best, was to take care of the whole family to that degree. So I put my husband and myself on a regimen. He was also a little bit older. Men tend to be older than women. And the goal is to 7 years younger. The significance of that is that the studies have found that if you're 7 years younger, you're going to reduce death rate, mortality by 50%. And it also equates to better quality of life. So we don't want to make someone live long and live poorly. And the second thing I impacted was I was aging at a pace of 0.96 years per 1 year, which is okay.
Yeah.
It's slower than 1 year per 1 year. And in 6 months, I reduced my biologic age by 11 years. So I hit that.
In 6 months?
Yes, I hit that.
That's a huge stat.
Yeah, that is huge. I hit that 7 years less than my chronologic age or birthday. And I reduced pace of aging down to 0.72. And I joke and I say, every 4 years I gain a year. And I tell my daughter, I'm reverse aging. She's like, no, you're not.
Yeah, right.
But I always joke too, is we did it pretty simply, pennies to the dollar. Yes, we deployed a few peptides, 2 key ones, but it was mostly diet, lifestyle, stress modification. And anyone can do it. And I don't know if you've seen on the social media, on the web, that Brian Johnson, the gentleman who spends $2 million. And I say, you don't have to spend $2 million. And temporarily, I had nearly caught up to him. He was at 0.69 years per 1 year, and I was at 0.72, and now he's gone below, but he's spending, and I haven't retested, truth be told, since June, and so we're going to be looking at that here shortly, so I can report back to you.
Yeah, so Dr. Maggie, we run all her YouTube stuff, and we were talking to her about this. What I noticed, and she talks about it in one of her videos even, is the opposition that came as she transitioned from her typical practice into the functional medicine. Did you experience that same opposition, like insurance companies, medical, companies, hospitals, things like that?
For sure with the insurance companies, because the first practice I was part of did take insurance, and that was the last practice. You just can't. I need to have that flexibility. They'd shut down certain tests or certain treatment modalities, and, you're arguing with someone that's not even medically trained.
That's right.
And so it's a futile point. It's a lot of time and energy to get a second, a third, a fourth no. So, same. And then, even from colleagues in the allopathic space, predominantly for a variety of reasons. Most doctors are busy. Now they're bombarded with portal messages, and the charting is now electronic and more intense. The data takes, any study that's been done takes about anywhere from 15 to 20 years to really be implemented. And I can go to those doctors and show them studies, and they'll still say, that's not true. And I'm like, well, the proof is in the results, right? If I get someone from disabled on the couch for 10 years to functional, isn't that all the proof you need?
That's right.
And
those are results.
Those are results. Even Dale Brett, two key people to highlight. Dale Bredesen came up with a protocol called the RECODE protocol on reversing cognitive decline. He's who I studied under, and since then have modified to make my own based on other findings that I've learned in other trainings. And when he first went to propose a study, he talks about 36 holes in the roof that you need to plug to restore brain health. And they wouldn't let him do the study because there are too many variables. But now they're paying attention. Same with Terry Walls, the American, the MS Society wouldn't back her. She reversed her MS. She was in a zero gravity recline wheelchair. She was a medical doctor, retrained in functional medicine, developed her own protocol, and now teaches practitioners and helps patients worldwide. She's got a book out as well. Same. And then she went from that where they wouldn't even recognize her, even though she's proof, to now they're like offering her a grant to do studies so that we can further the cause.
That's incredible. Wow, so many things. I mean, from your book to what you're doing in your practice. What does the future look like for you?
I'm so super excited. So we're launching a Longevity MD supplement line that's coming out this fall of 2024. I'm going to be segueing into, I coach high level entrepreneurs, but particularly women. So looking at coaching them so that the issue has become as you recover a high performer from burnout, but they'll keep going back there unless you give them strategies. 100%. And you probably, you know what it's like to burn the candle.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll be looking at group programs as well as some women's retreats. So, and then slated for the first quarter 2025 is my own show.
That's coming
the
up.
Dr. Rajka show.
There you go, Dr. Rajka. I like that.
Podcast and TV. We're looking at both.
That's so exciting. Yeah. So for those people who are listening to this, watching this, what are some of the simple, more practical steps they can take just as a first step towards the direction of functional medicine, towards the direction of taking better care of their health, right? I posted this thing on social media this morning. It was Macho Man Randy Savage sitting on like a ledge, staring off the beach. It was a meme. And he's staring off at the beach and it says, my natural immunity, knowing all the lives that I've saved or something like that. And it was just really funny and people were laughing about it. And so I bring that up because like natural immunity is a space that my wife and I are in. We have a company called Crunchy Cottage. We make elderberry syrup and fire cider and detox baths. And we came up with what we call the 5 pillars of health: hydration, sleep, stress, detox, and one more. I'm forgetting all of a sudden. And immunity. And those are the 5 pillars. And so all of her products fall under one of those pillars. And she has some products she's got in multiple pillars, right? She got 5 products in one pillar alone. And so we're building all of our products for those things. That's kind of the main thing. So what are some things that people could be doing on a day-to-day basis?
For your viewers here, what I would say is that you really need to not accept any of the following symptoms as a normal part of aging first. So that's fatigue, weight gain, insomnia, hot flashes, brain fog. Those are the most common symptoms. So don't accept it as a normal part of aging. It does not have to be. Find a good functional medicine MD. So if you need hormones, they can prescribe. You do have to be an MD. Some states ND. So anyone that can prescribe, essentially. And then the top 3 strategies they can deploy, there are 3 things that will aid you the quickest. So you have 5. I have 9 pillars. And my book talks about the 3D high energy protocol, but there's 3 S's and M's. And I joke and I say, if I told someone it was 9 steps, they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So the first thing that will age you is food. Too much, too often, not the right type. Within that, packing in the protein. Most people do not get enough protein. It's 1 gram per pound of ideal body weight per day.
That's
most people need at least 100 grams. That is the size of 2.5 palm servings of meat.
Wow.
Or 2.5 cups of, say, tofu if you're doing vegetarian options.
Got it.
The second thing that will aid you is stress. Stress really does kill. And my husband was in a really stressful situation with a toxic work environment. He took himself out of that. It wasn't going to change. So he said, I'm not going to have any of this. And learn how to regulate stress. It could be something as simple as box breathing, which is inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4.
Right.
And keep doing rounds. You don't need any expensive equipment. You could do it. No one would even know you're doing it, right? At your desk, maybe set a timer. Do it for 5 minutes a day at the end of, 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, or every hour. Get up and take a walk break.
Put a calendar in your phone.
Have
your Alexa remind you.
Yes, absolutely. And then the last is toxins. So toxins will take out, it's oxidative stress. It takes out your mitochondria so you don't make that energy. That's why most people eventually get really, really tired.
That's right.
Is clean water, what you talked about, hydrate, clean air, clean foods, and then also clean products. Anything you put on your skin. And for the men may say, well, I don't use a lot. It's your soap, it's your shampoo, it's your deodorant and toothpaste are probably the top, and then maybe body lotion. 5 products, right?
Wow, those are a lot of really good tips from her. Every episode, I like to end with some sort of a challenge, challenging the audience, the people that are listening, as a social impact show, as a love gangster of my love gangsters that are watching this right now. What is something that they can do today to help somebody else's life be better? It could be a simple thing, buying something for somebody in line behind them. encouraging them, whatever that is, what is something that you do that you could challenge them to do
Okay.
to make somebody's life better?
So I would say the number one thing is do a protein challenge with your partner, loved one, friend, colleague. So if you have a family at home and say, all right, we're going to track, you can use any of the apps. They have MyFitnessPal, Chronometer, track how much protein you're currently eating.
Perfect.
And then you're going to calculate everyone's needs based on their weight. So if you weigh 120 pounds and you're a good weight, you need 120 grams of protein.
Yep.
And you're going to track and you're going to set the challenge for the next 1 to 2 to 3 weeks to hit that goal every day.
Well, there it is. That's a really good challenge. Probably one of my favorite challenges right there. Pound per gram, right?
Yep, 1 gram per pound.
1 gram per pound. So there you go. So that's your challenge. You can do it. You can encourage your girlfriend, your partner, your children to do the same thing. And I want to hear back from you. We want to hear in the comments that you took this challenge and how it's impacting you. We want to hear, make a video, share it with us on social media. Dr. Rajka, I'm sure, Rajka on social media. And we want to hear back from you, or be swimming with the fishes, capiche?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. It was so great to meet you. I'm excited to learn more about you too. Wish we had more time for our interviews, but we'll definitely connect, and I can't wait to hear your podcast.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, this is the Love Gangster. I'm Adrien Boysel. We'll see you guys in the next episode. And as always, keep looking up.
Came here to fill the void. I am love, I am peace, I am joy that can never be destroyed. I am love, I am peace.